Today, we're going to dive into 5 powerful stories, and they all wrestle with one of life's biggest questions. Think about it. When things get tough, I mean really tough, what's your first instinct? Do you run? Do you try to escape? Or do you dig your heels in and face it head on? It's a universal dilemma, right? And we're going to explore it through 5 totally different characters, each giving us a very different answer. So first up, let's talk about the escapists. You know, the characters who choose to run. Their stories really get into why running away can be so tempting, especially when the truth is harsh. And we're going to start with a guy named Charlie from a story called The Third Level. So, on one hand, you've got his reality, the modern world, full of insecurity, fear of war, just constant worry. It's overwhelming. And on the other hand, his escape. His mind literally cooks up an imaginary third level at Grand Central Station. This isn't just another platform. It's a portal to 1894, a time he sees as peaceful, simple, and completely free of all the problems he just can't deal with. Now, his psychiatrist friend Sam, he has a fancy term for this. He calls it a waking dream wish fulfillment. What does that even mean? Well, basically, Sam is saying the third level isn't real at all. It's just a mental hideout that Charlie's built for himself, a fantasy to get away from a reality he just can't stand. Okay, so Charlie's trying to escape the here and now, but what if you're trying to escape something way, way bigger? Something like destiny. That's exactly what our next character tries to do in the story of the Tiger King. So get this. When the king is just a baby, an astrologer makes this chilling prediction. A tiger is going to be the cause of his death. Now, you or I, we might feel pretty helpless hearing that. But not the Tiger King. No way. He decides he's not going to run. He's not going to hide. He's going to confront his fate head on and try to obliterate it with brute force. And this becomes his life's obsession. I mean, his entire reign just turns into this frantic, manic mission to kill 100 tigers. He completely neglects his duties as a king. He even marries into a kingdom just so he can hunt their tigers. It's all about one thing: eliminating the source of his doom. He genuinely believes that if he kills enough tigers, he can kill destiny itself. But here's where it gets crazy ironic. He kills 99 tigers. He thinks he's killed the 100th. And what finally gets him? Not some huge, ferocious beast. Nope. It's a tiny sliver of wood from a cheap wooden toy tiger. The sliver gets infected, and that's it. Game over. The doctors even say, the operation is successful, the Raja is dead. You just can't make this stuff up. In the end, fate always finds a way, doesn't it? So, the Tiger King's brute force approach to confronting his destiny, total failure. It makes you wonder, if you can't fight your way out of a problem, what do you do when reality traps you in an impossible moral corner? You know, a situation where every single choice feels like the wrong one? That's the exact spot Dr. Sadao finds himself in the story The Enemy. Picture this. It's World War II. He's a Japanese doctor. And one day, an American soldier, a wounded enemy prisoner of war, washes up right on his doorstep. As a citizen, his duty is clear: turn the guy in, which would mean certain death for the soldier. But as a doctor, his oath is to save a human life, no matter who it is. So you see, this is where confrontation gets incredibly personal and incredibly dangerous. He could be seen as a traitor. He could lose everything. And yet, Dr. Sadao makes a choice. He brings the enemy soldier into his own home, performs surgery, and saves his life. In that single act, he chooses his duty to humanity over the lines drawn by war. Dr. Sadao had to face an external crisis, right? But what about when the battle isn't outside? What happens when the reality you have to confront is yourself, when it's about the person you see in the mirror every morning? This is exactly what On the Face of It is about. We meet 2 people, both with physical differences. First, there is Derry. He's a young boy with a face badly burned by acid, and in his mind, he's a monster. He hides from everyone because he's sure they're disgusted by him. Then he stumbles into the garden of Mr. Lamb, an old man who has a tin leg. But Mr. Lamb's perspective, it's the complete opposite. He looks at his garden and says, you know, some people call these weeds. I just see green, growing things. It's all about how you look at it. And that's Mr. Lamb's whole point. He's trying to teach Derry that your reality, it's all about your perception. It's Beauty and the Beast, right? It's all relative. He's gently pushing Derry to stop running, to stop hiding, and to finally confront the bitterness he's holding on to. He's showing him that real ugliness isn't a scarred face. It's a closed-off heart that refuses to let any light. So we've gone from personal anxiety to an internal struggle with self-worth. Now for our last story, we're going to zoom all the way out. We're scaling up this idea of confrontation from the personal to the planetary level. The story is called Journey to the End of the Earth, and a trip to Antarctica here is so much more than a vacation. It's a face-to-face confrontation with a really harsh reality, the impact we humans are having on our planet. Antarctica, it turns out, is the perfect, chilling place to see our past, our present, and our future all at once. I mean, think about it. 650 million years ago, India and Antarctica were part of the same giant landmass. Seeing this place, so ancient and pristine, it just forces you to change your perspective. It connects you to this incredibly deep history, a time long before humans were even a thing. And it's a stark reminder that our species, in our very short time here, is changing things drastically. And down there in Antarctica, the consequences are impossible to ignore. Climate change isn't some abstract idea in a textbook. You can literally see it, you can feel it. The melting ice is a direct link in a chain that we started. Burning fossil fuels creates a CO2 blanket, which raises temperatures, which melts the ice, which raises sea levels. You see where this is going. It forces you to confront the fact that the future isn't just something that's going to happen to us. It's something we are actively creating right now. And frankly, it's pretty dangerous. So what's the solution? The story's point is actually pretty profound. It says, take care of the small things, and the big things will fall into place. It's not just about grand, sweeping gestures. It's about understanding that the smallest parts of the system, like microscopic phytoplankton, are absolutely critical. I mean, these tiny things are the base of the entire food web in the Southern Ocean. If they go, everything else goes with them. The message is simple. If you want to fix the big problems, you have to start by taking responsibility for the little ones. So, let's bring it all together. What have we learned from these 5 stories? I think it's pretty clear. The instinct to escape, to run away into a fantasy world like Charlie, or to try and punch fate in the face like the Tiger King, that's a very human instinct. But it doesn't lead to growth. The real path forward comes from the others, from Dr. Sadao choosing humanity, from Mr. Lamb opening his heart, from the travelers confronting our future in Antarctica. They all show us that real progress, whether it's personal, moral, or even global, only comes when we find the courage to face reality, no matter how tough it is. And that really just leaves us with one final question. A question for you. What's your 3rd level? What's that fantasy escape you run to? And what's your 100th tiger? That one big thing you're trying so hard to fight? Because if these stories teach us anything, it's that maybe the most important journey isn't about running or fighting at all. Maybe it's just about turning around and facing what's right in front of you. So the real question is, what reality are you going to choose to confront today?